Hello, I'm Professor Rad, and today we're going to talk about division. So division is the operation of splitting things up into equally sized groups, which is the opposite of multiplication. So when we had multiplication, we repeatedly added things into, or we had groups, like repeated groups of the same number of objects each. So for division, instead of us having those groups, we're going to split our objects up into groups. So we break into groups for division. The result of division is called the quotient. So let's look at one way that we can visualize division. In example 16, we're going to divide 23 by 4. So I'm going to start out by drawing 23 objects and then also like a bank for 4 groups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, so those are my 23 cookies, say. And then let's say I have 4 friends that I would like to give my cookies to. So these are my 4 groups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that each of my groups, each of my friends, gets the same number of cookies. So I'm going to take this cookie, give it to group 1. This one goes to group 2, group 3, and group 4. And I'm going to keep doing this for all of the cookies. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now before I carry on, I notice I only have 3 cookies remaining. So I can't give out any more cookies to my friends because if I did, one person would be left out with a fewer cookie or one less cookie. So because I have fewer cookies than friends left, I'm going to stop here. And we can see that each friend got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cookies. So there's 5, 5. Yep, everyone got 5 cookies. So that means that 23 divided by 4 is going to be 5 cookies. Each person got 5 with a remainder of 3. So R here is standing for a remainder, and that's what remains that can't be divided out. They can't be given to each person. So each of my friends gets 5 cookies, and I have 3 left over for myself. So let's look at a few examples of how we could do the same problem, but in a different way. So in example 17, it says use repeated subtraction to find the quotient and remainder when 23 is divided by 4. Now, where repeated subtraction comes from is the fact that multiplication is repeated addition and subtraction is the opposite of addition. So if multiplication and division are opposites, then maybe the opposite of repeated adding could be repeated subtracting. So here's how we work through that. I'm going to start out with 23 and I'm going to take 4 away. So 23, 22, 21, 20, 19. I can still subtract 4, so I'm going to take 4 more away, and that's going to give me 15. I can still subtract 4, so I'm going to take 4 away, and that's going to give me 11. I can still take 4 away, so 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. And I can take 4 away again and get 3. So starting with 23, as I subtracted 4, I had to subtract a 4 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And at the end, I couldn't subtract 4 since 3 is smaller than 4, so I had 3 left over. So this is another way that you can work through division, is you can start with this number and then subtract the 4 until you can't anymore. However many times you subtracted it is the quotient, and then whatever's left over in the end is your remainder. There's one other way that we can think about division, and that is to think of our multiplication table. When we see 23 divided by 4, and we're trying to figure out what does that mean, that means the same as if we were to go backwards. What number times 4 is 23? That's essentially what we're trying to get to with division. We're undoing this multiplication. So if you know your multiplication table, you know that 5 times 4 is 20, and 6 times 4 is 24. So either way, neither of these is going to get us 23. So the rule is you play by the Price is Right rule. You want to get the closest to 23 without going over. 20 is the closest to 23 without going over, and it's 3 below what we need, right? So we needed 23, and 20 is 3 away. So that means our result is going to be 5 with a remainder of 3. 4 times 5 gets us really close, but we need 3 more in order to get to 23 perfectly. So let's see if we can do another problem, and we'll do the same thing. We'll do this one 3 times, once visually, once with repeated subtraction, and once using the multiplication table. If you want to pause the video here and try out each technique for yourself, feel free to do so, but I'm going to walk through them just the same way as we walked through that. So visually, I want to split 20 up into 3 equal-sized groups. So I'm going to set up my 3 equal-sized groups. And this time I'm just going to put dots in until I get to 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And if I did 19, 20, I would be done. So this last group would be missing out. So there are 2 dots that couldn't get sorted. So each of my 3 groups has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we had a remainder of 2 at the end. All right, let's try repeated subtraction. So I'm going to start with 20, and we're going to take 3 away. 18, 17, we can still subtract. 14, keep subtracting. 11, we can still subtract. 8, we can still subtract. 5, we can still subtract. 2. So we subtracted a 3 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and we had 2 left over. So we get that same answer of 6 remainder 2. When I think about my multiplication table, I know that 3 times 6 is 18, and 3 times 7 is 21. So 7's too big because it gets me over 20. So I know that I'm going to have 6. And then from 18 to 20, I need to add 2. So I once again get a 6 with a remainder of 2. So as we talk about more advanced techniques of division in the next few episodes or videos, remember you can always go back to definitions of things to help you if you get stuck. So think about which of these 3 techniques you like best, and go ahead and try these next 3 problems. So you can use any of the techniques that make the most sense to you. In our next video, we're going to talk about how you can check your answers of division. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!